Hello, and welcome to an introduction to PA342, otherwise known as insurance law. This is a really good course if you are interested in working in the area of civil litigation, specifically personal injury, medical malpractice, even workers' compensation law. Um, Frankly, it's a great class to just understand personally too. As a person in the United States, you may be faced with purchasing insurance for a variety of reasons. So this class is really has some multifaceted advantages. So let's look at the course description. In this class, you look at insurance law in general. So don't assume that this class just simply talks about insurance and coverage and it's like a meeting with an insurance salesman. No, it's not like that at all. This is not a sales class. You will be taught about the basics of insurance law, which is actually regulated by a variety of laws. You'll learn about why we even have insurance. Of course, you will learn about the different types of insurance. What kinds of things can you insure? There is a little bit in the class about Lloyd's of London cases, that kind of insurance where, some of the famous celebrities have like their legs insured or something. So that's kind of a fun thing about the class. You'll look at, the concept of risk. Risk is central to insurance law and central to insurance. Why do we buy insurance? We want to protect ourselves against risks and mitigate risks. And so insurance is a way to do that. Also, we look at defenses that the insurer can assert. We know the insurer likes to do that. The insurance companies are businesses; they don't love to pay, and there are many cases where, rightfully so, they don't have to pay. They have a defense to a claim to an insurance claim. So we'll look at those because there are many jobs in insurance defense. Lots of paralegals are needed. Lots of attorneys are needed. Those jobs are never going away. We're going to have insurance forever. So there's a lot of work in insurance defense. At the same time, there's a lot of work in personal injury law as well. So we also look at changes in insurance law and, any new changes that come up as the course goes on. The course will be revised to accommodate those changes. We'll look at specifically changes in health insurance pursuant to the Affordable Care Act. Also, ethical and legal issues arising from insurance transactions. Obviously, ethics is covered in just about every course in legal studies, and rightfully so. So here are the course outcomes. There's 6 outcomes. It's a 6-credit course. As you can see, it really kind of covers every aspect of insurance. So by the time you take this class, you'll be well versed in everything insurance. Okay, so now we're going to look at a brief overview of each unit, what you can expect from the course on a weekly basis. So unit 1 is really focused on risk. What is risk? How do we manage risk? How do we transfer risk? I own a home. There's always a risk that my home will be destroyed by fire or, some other circumstance. My water heater blows up and my home's destroyed. That's a risk I have as a homeowner. Well, if I pay money to an insurance company and purchase homeowners insurance, I then transfer that risk of loss to the insurance company and I give them money in return. Now, a lot of times they sort of win because, it's not that often that people have to use their homeowners insurance. But when they do, they're very happy they have it. Unit 2, we're going to look at the different kinds of insurance entities based on how they're owned. We're going to look at the different types of insurance companies and what products are owned. So this may be a little bit like an insurance salesman unit, but you do need to know what's out there in terms of what kinds of insurance is available. And it's not just personal insurance. It would be things like workers' compensation. That is a type of insurance in and of itself. This unit is important, Unit 3. We're looking at why the government has to regulate the insurance industry. As you might imagine, there is a lot of room for abuse in this industry. So that's why it's regulated. We're going to talk about how it's regulated currently, and then what areas of insurance are regulated, and then the impact of different laws, regulatory laws on insurance. So how has insurance changed? Unit 4, we're going to look at benefits, insurance benefits for eligible Social Security classes. So Social Security is actually social insurance. It's a type of insurance. We don't think of it that way, but it is. And then also the financial issues facing the Social Security system. You've heard this. We've all heard this said, oh, maybe someday there won't be any Social Security, and we'll have paid into it. So we'll look at that. And of course, that is ever changing. So we'll probably bring in current events too in that unit. Life insurance. That's what we cover in Unit 5. We're going to look at the different types of life insurance. We're going to talk about retirement risk. This is a really interesting concept, and it'll get you thinking about the risk of retirement. I didn't think it was or there was any risk. I thought it was like fun. You don't have to work anymore, but there is a risk. We're going to look at what that is and how to manage it. Again, this is where the class can be useful to both you as a person who may eventually retire, and then you as somebody working in this area of law. Unit 6, this is where we look at medical expense insurance and disability insurance. We take a close look at these. We look at what's out there, and then we look at the COBRA and HIPAA acts and how they impact it. Unit 7, we are looking at public health insurance, options for the poor, disabled, and elderly. What happens to them? How are their needs met? We'll look at the safety net that is Medicare and Medicaid. And then we'll look at the Affordable Care Act in more detail and talk about, has this actually increased access to health care in the United States? Have we actually seen that? Now, this becomes more and more relevant every year since it's been enacted, right? Because then we'll really get to see the impact. We've got lots of information now. So those are things we'll look at in class, and maybe in seminar, we can talk about, again, current events related to this. Unit 8, I brought up the homeowners policy earlier. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at how they're regulated. The government doesn't want potential insureds to be taken advantage of by the big insurance company. So the government steps in. Also, another very timely issue. What is the impact of climate change and natural disasters on homeowners coverage? I think we all just heard this summer that some insurance companies were going to stop providing homeowners insurance in California. What does that mean? Is this limited to California, or will this happen in other states? And then discuss liability coverage for the individual. Unit 9. Now, this is my favorite unit because I actually was able to work in workers' compensation law. So a lot of people don't really understand that this is an insurance-based system, but you will. After this course is over, you'll completely understand how the system works, which again, if you are thinking about working in that area of law, which there is a lot of work in that area as well, you will have a really good understanding of how it works. Identify some of the failings of the system. How does it go wrong? Is it a perfect system? Absolutely not. And then we'll look at, can it function without attorneys in the courts? No, I don't want it to. But there is the argument that it can be work without them. Unit 10 ties up a lot of our loose ends. We look at auto insurance coverage. We look at commercial general liability insurance. This is for businesses. Future trends in insurance. What's going to be the future of insurance? Will it change? And then the role of technology in insurance, which is InsurTech. We've got the mix of technology with everything, and then you just add, the word plus tech. But this is really something that is new and developing. So Unit 10 is a great place for it, because then we'll also, again, add current events and current developments in the law to this course. Probably in seminar, we can add it in the discussion board as well. So I look forward to seeing you someday. Myself, I might be teaching it. There's a variety of other professors that might teach it. By the way, I don't know if I remember to introduce myself, but I am Professor Cristina Nolan, and I am a full-time faculty member at Purdue University Global. So hopefully someday you will take this course. And if not, I hope you enjoyed at the, learning about this course. So thanks again for your time and attention.